Maverick's comprehensive overview. On Echoes of 1918, the Great Influenza Pandemic, a tale of tragedy, resilience, and lessons learned. In the bitter dawning hours of 1918, an invisible adversary began to silently infiltrate the world, already torn apart by the Great War. It was a time when humanity grappled with unprecedented conflict, and yet this silent invader, an insidious strain of influenza, was about to unleash a calamity that would rival the horrors of war, the Great Influenza Epidemic. This invisible enemy first appeared in the military camps of Haskell County, Kansas, USA. As spring breathed life into the earth, these strong, youthful soldiers, untouched by war's atrocities, began to succumb to a mysterious illness. High fever, debilitating body aches, and a lethal form of pneumonia marked this merciless disease, sweeping through the ranks with chilling speed. Carried by unwitting human vectors, the disease began its global journey. Soldiers, traversing continents to join the front lines, were unknowingly transporting this virulent microbe. Amidst the chaos of war, the world remained oblivious to the impending health crisis. By summer, the virus had infiltrated Europe. Spain, a neutral party in the war, was one of the first to report the presence of this disease, leading to the misnomer, Spanish flu. Yet Spain was no more a victim than any other country. Autumn ushered in a far more deadly second wave of the virus. Now, no one was safe. The virus breached all social, racial, and national boundaries, proving itself an equal opportunity executioner. Medical facilities were overwhelmed. Those fighting the disease on the front lines, doctors and nurses, were themselves falling prey to it. Schools, churches, and homes were repurposed into hospitals in a desperate attempt to provide care. By the close of 1918, the virus had traveled around the globe, leaving an estimated death toll of 20 million, a number that some estimates stretch to a staggering 50 million. This loss of life surpassed even the catastrophic toll of the Great War. The pandemic unfolded in 3 waves over 2 years, infecting a third of the global population across every continent. From the Pacific Islands to North America, from Asia's vibrant cities to Africa's remote corners, the virus left no region untouched. Yet, by the summer of 1919, the pandemic had receded as suddenly as it had emerged. The world, battered and exhausted, embarked on the long journey of recovery. In the aftermath, the 1918 influenza pandemic profoundly influenced global health policies and spurred advancements in virology and epidemiology. It underscored the importance of preparedness, vigilance, and international cooperation in combating such threats. The pandemic was a global event, but its impact was deeply personal and varied across different regions. In the U.S., Philadelphia's Liberty Loan Parade led to one of the deadliest outbreaks in the country. In contrast, St. Louis, which canceled its parade, demonstrated the effectiveness of early preventive measures. In the Pacific, Samoa and Tonga were devastated, while in India, the pandemic, coupled with drought and a weak healthcare system, resulted in a catastrophic mortality rate. Even the remote Inuit communities in Alaska experienced heavy losses. These personal stories of loss, survival, and resilience were etched into the cultural memory of the world. Catherine Ann Porter's Pale Horse, Pale Rider, and T.S. Eliot's The Waste Land capture the despair and desolation of these times. Economically, the pandemic caused significant disruption. According to a 2007 study published in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, the pandemic led to an 18% decrease in state income growth rates in the U.S. This impact was temporary but substantial, emphasizing the economic toll of such health crises. The pandemic also influenced public health infrastructure and policy. A 2007 study in the Journal of Political Economy showed that areas more severely affected by the 1918 flu in the U.S. subsequently invested more in public health interventions, leading to improved health outcomes in the long run. In addition to its economic and health impacts, the pandemic also sparked significant scientific advancements. The inability to identify the cause of the 1918 pandemic fueled research into infectious diseases, eventually leading to the discovery of the influenza virus in the 1930s. The lessons learned from 1918 have been critical in shaping our response to subsequent pandemics, including the COVID-19 pandemic of 2020. Despite the immense suffering it caused, the 1918 pandemic also showcased the resilience of humanity. Amidst the tragedy, there were stories of extraordinary heroism and selflessness. Doctors, nurses, and ordinary citizens went above and beyond to care for the sick, often at great personal risk. These stories serve as a testament to our capacity for compassion and courage in the face of adversity. In many ways, the 1918 influenza pandemic was a turning point in our understanding of infectious diseases and our approach to public health. It underscored the importance of preparedness, rapid response, and international cooperation in dealing with such threats. While the scale of the tragedy was immense, the lessons learned have been invaluable in helping us navigate future health crises. The echoes of the 1918 pandemic continue to resonate, reminding us of our shared vulnerability and the importance of collective action in the face of global threats. As we look back on this chapter of our history, we are reminded not just of the toll of the pandemic, but also of the resilience of humanity and our capacity to come together in times of crisis. It is a story of tragedy, but also of resilience, scientific progress, and the indomitable human spirit.